Yeah, however you want to cut it, he's pretty good about putting things behind him, negative plays behind him, going the next one, and you have to be able to do that at the cornerback position. I think he can put it back, go to the next play, learn from what just happened, and continue to play. I mean, that's what we talk about all the time, man. Just go in there and compete again.
Elbow, forearm, he's going to be down.
The result of the play is a touchdown.
The flag that was thrown on this was picked up.
I don't know, did it get the face mask?
Only do that if you're telling the official you're reporting.
The Lions hangover.
All right, what's going on, everybody? I am Brad, and this is the Lions Hangover Podcast. How's everybody doing today? Man, I just got this one in under the wire here. It's late Friday night as I'm doing this. Almost forgot what I was going to say here. Before we get started, please find me on all social medias. I'm on X, I'm on Instagram, and I am on Facebook. The Brad Holmes bobblehead raffle, that'll be happening tomorrow. I'll try to make a little video out of it so I could do that. So I can message the winner tomorrow. That's Saturday. What day is that? I think that's the Saturday the 23rd. I'll be drawing the winner for that Brad Holmes bobblehead. It's real easy to do. Just follow me on Twitter, repost that the post of the contest, and then tag me in a photo showing me that you follow me on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and then I will pick a winner from the people that submitted their entry. Real easy to do. I've got lots of Lions swag, or I don't want to say swag. People think of clothes when you say swag, but I've got some trinkets, some collectibles, some little gifts and stuff just in time for the holidays. So I'll be doing another giveaway in probably 2 weeks or so. I'll be doing it every couple of weeks until my stash is depleted, I think is the right thing to say. So thanks for everybody that's done it so far. If you haven't win, you can enter again. So I'm good with that. So I appreciate everybody playing along. Now let's get to it. The Lions, the only team in the NFL that is currently undefeated on the road, that is the Detroit Lions. It's hard to believe that the one loss they had happened at home. Oh man, if we could play the Bucs again, it'd be a different game, don't you think? Now that we've shaken off all of that rust. Those are my thinking noises. Let's get into it. All time, the Indianapolis Colts lead the series. What was it, 22-20-1, I think is what it was. I'm looking for that. All time, the Indianapolis Colts lead the series 22-20-2 is what it was. The Lions, however, this rivalry started all the way back in December of 1950. The Lions won 9 out of their first 11 games, finishing off in 57. Then they went on a little bit of a losing streak, but all that stuff doesn't necessarily matter. The Lions, however, have only won one game out of the last 6. That goes back all the way to October of 2000. Last time we played these guys was November of 2020. We lost 41-21. Man, we got stomped on that. Who was the quarterback of that game? Was that that was Phillip Rivers. Yeah, Phillip Rivers for the Colts. I wasn't sure if that was going to be Andrew Luck or not. That, of course, was Stafford for our quarterback. Okay, so the Colts went on to be 5-2 after that, and Lions went on to be 3-4. Let's get down to it. The Colts, they're currently ranked 19th in the power rankings. It's a little bit, below average, I guess. They're kind of at the bottom of the AFC standings. They've had some real inconsistent play at quarterback, and we'll get into their team stats in just a few minutes. At first, I just got to give my little editorial. The one thing that is keeping the Colts going, though, for not having like any, I'm just going to go ahead and say mega superstars on defense. Their defense is pretty good. They're good at covering those out routes, like those slants and stuff, the screen plays and stuff. That's sort of their bread and butter, is like that territory there. However, over the middle, they are weak. So assuming Sam Laporta is playing, I believe last I saw on the injury report, Laporta should be ready to go. Him and St. Brown, they're going to be set up to have a good game because the Colts are just horrible in the middle of the field, and that's where Laporta and St. Brown obviously make their money at. Man, those two guys together, Laporta and St. Brown, they don't drop the ball very often, do they? They just don't. So both of those guys, they got super glue hands. It's amazing. Hopefully Jameson Williams will have another strong game, and Jared Goff will do what he does, and the Lions can just... Man, that's my foot on the carpet. Can you hear that? I'm not even touching... not even touching the microphone pole or anything. That's weird. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. ADHD, I guess. Hopefully Jared Goff will continue his smart play. Naturally, though, what the Lions are going to have to do is just keep Gibbs and Montgomery on the ground like they've been doing, and then just have, Goff pick up the pieces, and that's been working out for him because, over 400 yards passing last week against the Jags. Just establish that run, and everything else will fall into place. And I think that's what's working. Of course, the Lions, they really need to get that pass rush going. Davion Smith, he's really got to. He got that sack at the end of the game, but he really has to make his presence known. So does Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader, man. We really need all those guys to step up. Anthony Richardson, he does have mobility. This is one of our weaknesses. He can run, he can scramble. He can do a lot of stuff here. So he's athletically inclined, but not necessarily ability inclined. He's struggled. It's been inconsistent. If you just get him tired, maybe he'll take himself out of the game, but I don't think that's going to happen again. So Lions, though, they just have to impose their will on defense, that defensive front. Of course, look for Brian Branch, Terrion Arnold. That's who Coach Dan Campbell was talking about at the beginning of the show there. He was talking about Terrion Arnold and how he's improved over the last couple weeks. There hasn't been as many pass interference calls, so we appreciate that here in Detroit. And Carlton Davis III, he's all those guys. Those have been the leaders in the backfield. Kirby Joseph, all of those guys have been leaders in the backfield. So we need all of them to continue their play. I think we need Brian Branch to get 3 interceptions now to catch up with Joseph. Isn't it 7 or 4? I think that's what it is. Like Gibbs and Montgomery competing with each other on offense, I feel like Branch and Joseph are competing with each other on defense. So we need Branch to get 3 more interceptions, I think, to tie. I can look that up in just a second. Good news, though. Emmanuel Mosley is listed as questionable. He could make his return. However, Ennis Rakestraw is... I think it was Ennis Rakestraw. Yeah, it is Ennis Rakestraw. He is going to be out for the game. Emmanuel Mosley is listed as questionable. So is Terrion Arnold. He's listed as questionable. Both of those guys had full practices, though, today on Friday, so that is looking good. Laporta should be good to go. He had full practice. Yeah, so he is good to go. He is off of the injury report designation. I mean, we kind of need him, especially if Rakestraw is going to be out, and it would be a good way to get him back into the game too, because if he's just taking Rakestraw's spot, because Rakestraw was like the nickel and dime downs. So let's do some stats here. Okay, so Anthony Richardson leads the team with 1,230 passing yards. He is 79 of 163. He's only completed 48.5% of his passes. He's averaging about 175 yards per game. His longest is 69 yards. He's thrown for 5 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, compared to Joe Flacco's 9 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. So as a team, they've got 12 interceptions. So you want to say you're at least going to get 1 interception. You're at least going to get 1. I feel like with the Lions' defensive backfield, this could be a multiple interception game. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Anthony Richardson does have a quarterback rating of 66.2. Joe Flacco has a 91.5. So they are just letting Richardson ride it out, though. Jonathan Taylor, he's going to be their biggest threat. He's got 150 carries for 673 yards. He's got 7 big plays, 5 touchdowns on the year. Anthony Richardson also has 6 fumbles on the year. That's huge, man. That's huge. You get to him, you create pressure on him. He's hanging on to that ball. You just knock it out of his hands, man. He's not 6 fumbles. That's a lot. That's a lot. He is the second leading rusher, though. He's got 51 carries for 274 yards, and he also has 3 rushing touchdowns. So it's a threat, him running the ball. That is a threat. Receivers, Alec Pierce is the leading receiver on the team with 590 yards. He does have 26 receptions. However, Mr. Josh Downs leads the team with 50 receptions for 561 yards. Both of those guys have 4 touchdowns. Pierce, though, he's got 9 big plays on the year. Pittman Jr., he's following up with 35 catches for 412 yards. Their tight end, Ali Cox, he's only got 9 receptions on the year, so they don't use their tight ends too much. Jonathan Taylor's only got 13 receptions, so he's not much of a threat. So definitely look for Downs, Pittman, and Pierce. Those are going to be your main targets, their top 3 receivers. They're all combining for about 1,500 yards on the season so far. Linebacker, Zaire Franklin, he's the one to worry about. He's leading the team with 110 total tackles. That's 56 solo, 54 assisted, as well as Nick Cross. He's a safety. He's got 63 solo, 39 assisted for a total of 102. I am looking for sacks. Kwity Paye, he leads the team with 5.5 sacks. DeForest Buckner, he is second on the team with 3.5 sacks. So is Grover Stewart. He also has 3.5 sacks. And then Latu and Odeyingbo, I can't ever say that name. They both have 3 sacks. As a team, they have 25 sacks total on the year. So they're averaging about 2 sacks per game. Let's get to the good stuff here. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As a team, they have 8 interceptions. That's modest. It's nothing superb, but it is modest. As a team, they have 13 forced fumbles, as well as 9 fumble recoveries. So that is looking pretty good as well. I think they have fumbles for a touchdown. They have 1 of those. They have no interceptions for a touchdown. This is the first time I'm seeing these stats, so it's kind of exciting. How's their kicker? How's he doing? Let's take a look here. Gay. They've got Gay. He's the Gay kicker. 19 of 22 field goals. Matt Gay, that is. I like Matt Gay. I think he was on my fantasy team last year. His longest is 56 yards this year. He is 100% accurate unless it's 50 yards or more, where he is 50%. He's 3 for 6 with the 50 yards and beyond. So he's no Jake Bates, that's for sure. He is 20 for 20 on extra points, though. They've already punted the ball 46 times, so they're averaging, just over 4 punts a game. Their punter already has 2,200 yards on the season. You guys want to do Lion stats real quick? Let's do some Lion stats. Jared Goff, of course, leads the team with 197 out of 270 for 2,492 yards on the season. He's had 20 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Man, he's had a hell of a year. If you take away that game against Houston with the 5 interceptions, he's gone 20-4, but that's not how the NFL works. You just can't cherry pick your stats. He does have a quarterback rating of 112 on the season. Gibbs is holding it strong with 796 yards so far. Man, he's going to be breaking 1,000 any day now. I would say, what do you think? 2 more games? 3 more games? 1,000? He's almost got 800 yards now. So I would say 2, maybe 3 games, and he'll have 1,000 yards. Montgomery, on the other hand, is just 5 yards shy of 600 yards on the season. So he's going to need, he might get 1,000 yards by the end of the season. I hope so. Keep feeding Montgomery the ball. Jeez. Okay, St. Brown is leading with 685 yards. That's out of 65 receptions. Williams has 24 receptions for 538 yards. Here comes Laporta with 25 catches, 366 yards. Gibbs, 23. Montgomery, 21. Aren't they the most even duo ever? Like, as far as what responsibility they're given week in, week out, I mean, it's almost identical, especially after 11 games, you know? They're really close. That'd be sweet if they could finish the season, you know, tied with catches and rushing attempts. I think we've seen, though, that Gibbs has had more production this far in the season, you know, and that doesn't mean, I mean, statistically Gibbs is better, but you can't deny what Montgomery has done. He's just such a powerful runner. And if you look at touchdowns, Montgomery has 10 touchdowns. Gibbs has 8. You know, Montgomery's averaging 60 yards per game. Gibbs is averaging 80, you know, but Montgomery's fumbled the ball 2 times and he's lost it once. Yeah, I'm trying to go over this. You know, let's get to the team stats. How's that? You know, the Colts are 5-6 on the year, and they're 3-2 at home and 2-4 away. They're averaging 21.5 points per game. Lions are, of course, averaging 33.6. They're averaging 320.7 yards on the ground. Or, I'm sorry, total of offense. The Lions are averaging 394.7. Okay. The Lions are averaging 258.1 yards in the air. And the Colts are averaging 220 yards in the air. Man, I wish I could speak. The Lions are rushing for 152.2 yards per game. The Colts are averaging 118.5. Defensively, the Colts are giving up 374 yards a game. Lions are only giving up 327. Defensive pass yards per game, they're kind of neck and neck here. This is pretty close. The Lions are averaging 249.6 defensively allowed passing yards per game. Colts are just slightly better at 247.2. Okay, defensive rushing, the Lions are only allowing 94.8 yards per game. This is where we got them. This tells the story. The Colts, they are allowing 143.1 yards per game. That tells me everything I need to know. You light them up on the ground, okay? You send Gibbs, you send Montgomery, you can send Craig Reynolds and even Sione Vaki, okay? Light them up. Put them all in the end zone. 4 rushing touchdowns for tomorrow. That's what I'm going to say. I'll say 4 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown. So that's 35. Okay, 35 to 21. That's what I'm going to guess that the score is going to be. 35-21. Lions are going to have a 2 touchdown lead in the game tomorrow. I got something on my tongue. 1 second. Thanks for sticking that out with me. I see no reason the Lions can't win by 2 touchdowns. You know, I'm unsure of what kind of game Anthony Richards is going to have. Anthony Richardson. I'm just unsure. It could go either way. If he's going to be using his legs, we're going to be without Anzalone. Jack Campbell has been playing great. Brian Branch can sneak up. Joseph can sneak up. You know, we can contain him. Anthony Richardson, we can contain him, but he's a weapon, you know, and I worry more about a quarterback running the ball than I do the running back. I think we will keep Jonathan Taylor in check. You know, he was Mr. Touchdown a couple seasons ago, but he's not having the year that he was having all those years ago. I think the only thing we really got to worry, I mean, Richardson can throw the ball. He can't throw it accurately. He's completing under 50% of his passes all year. You know, and it's like we've played enough games to where this isn't a fluke. We've played enough games to know that this is just how he is. This is how he was in college. I don't know why he was drafted so early. He should be on the bench as far as I'm concerned. He should be developing. He should be learning from people like Flacco. And I'm not saying Flacco is the better option. I'm just saying Flacco provides leadership that Anthony Richardson may not be providing. So, and that could speak miles, as far as the success of your team goes long term. Now, I think the Colts have lots of other problems. They might not have a sufficient offensive line. They may not have sufficient pass blocking, sufficient run blocking. I do think they have a solid defense. I just don't think they have it on offense yet. But regardless, I think the Lions are going to put up some points. It may be close, but only in the beginning. I think we will. I don't think it'll ever feel like the Lions don't have this. I don't feel like the game will ever be in question. Even if the Colts score first, I don't think this is going to be much of a problem. I think, I think 35-20, 35-21, right about there. I think that's the score I'm going with. I think I've stumbled long enough. This is the preview game. It's hard, when you're playing an opponent like the Colts to really sort of break it down. Like this is just, and the Lions are just playing so good. It's like I find myself saying the same thing over and over. Run the ball, pass second, and that'll lead you. That'll lead you. They can't stop the run, and we have the two best running backs in the league. We have the best tandem in the league. Not to say that they're better than Derrick Henry, or Joe Mixon or anything like that. But I'm saying our two against any one of those guys, like that's just the offense we run. Our two make a better one than any of those guys. Yeah, I'll say that. I'll say that our guys are better combined than what Derrick Henry brings to the table or what Joe Mixon brings to the table. I hope that makes sense. I know there's two of our guys to their one, but it's not a street fight. It's a statistic fight. And I feel like our two are just better. So with that being said, I think I'm going to wrap this up. It is Friday. It is late. I want to get this out. Good luck to everybody for the bobblehead contest. Look for that video on X, and I will be reaching out to the winner to get some information so you can get your bobblehead. So thanks for listening again. I've been Brad. This has been the Lions Hangover Podcast. So, all right, you guys have a good one. Bye-bye.